What's up? It's John and Darren from Zonguru here in Los Angeles, and welcome to this 4-part mini-series. We're going to be covering 2020 Perfect Product Vision. It's a 4-part mini-series from research to differentiation to launching and finally to business management. We're going to go through A to Z of how to launch the perfect product in 2020. A lot has changed in Amazon, and this is the latest, absolutely the best strategies that you need to be able to launch and get going in 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking for your first product to sell and you're kind of deer caught in the headlights, you're a little bit unsure of what's going on, or you've already launched a product and you're looking to launch more successful, long-term, sustainable products, this is the series for you. Like you said, we're going to cover it A to Z, and we're also going to be showing you how Zonguru can provide the tools and resources for you to make data-driven decisions, because right now that's what it's all about on Amazon.
Yeah, so if you want 2020 vision in 2020, this is going to be awesome. Look at all the products that we have in the background there. We're going to be talking about what's great about them, and then dive into one specific product and really get into the meat of it. So really exciting. There's going to be a lot of chances for questions, engagement, and we want to just dive in.
As you probably know, Amazon is changing all the time. It's evolving over the last 3-4 years in particular. It's just a completely different landscape than it was. It's more competitive. There's more products on each page. Amazon is A/B testing all the time, and it's just changing. And as a seller, you need to be able to pivot and change with the time. So it's really exciting what we're going to be covering, because we're basically going to be showing how you as a seller can be successful in an ever-evolving marketplace. And this is a question that we get asked all the time, kind of surrounding these questions is there still opportunity on Amazon? And the short answer is absolutely, but it is much more competitive, and you have to kind of take different approaches, think outside the box, use data and tools to be successful. So, is there opportunity on Amazon? Yes. Is it more competitive? Yes, absolutely. But if you follow the material that we're going to be covering, you use the tools that we're going to be showing off, you have a very, very good chance of still being, one of the success stories selling on Amazon.
Yeah, and we know that for a fact, because on Zonguru alone, our customers have done over $500 million in revenue on Amazon, which is an insane number. So the opportunity is absolutely there. Just, again, we're excited to show you exactly how to do this using Zonguru and using the latest strategies.
Yeah, and another cool thing about this video series is we're going to actually be bringing in some of our top, most successful sellers to share their tips and tricks as well.
Yeah. One other thing that we want to talk about is Zonguru, and a little bit about our why and our team and how we are absolutely focused on bringing you the best tools so that you can find those perfect products, launch and manage your business on Amazon. This goes back to when we launched Zonguru back in 2016. Part of our why and what we focused on is this excitement around being able to create a financial scalable wealth on Amazon. It's, having a product-based business is one of the best opportunities in this latest era, being able to, source something from whichever country without seeing it and actually launching it on a platform and sending it to a customer without even seeing them and just getting money every single day. Okay, so one other thing that we want to talk about is just an awesome evolution to see how far our team has come and also how far our expertise has come as we've grown with the Amazon industry. I mean, I can't imagine being able to launch a product now on Amazon without using this data-centric approach that we have to launching products.
We're going to be giving away prizes. We're going to be giving away a Zonguru subscription. We've got a bunch of other cool little nuggets and fun things throughout this entire video series. So make sure to stay tuned, because not only is it all about the information that we're covering, but there's some fun stuff involved as well.
Make sure you ask questions at the end of each video. Share with friends. Just engage it. Just get it out into your masterminds. Whoever it is, this is about sharing and asking the questions, and the content is going to evolve with those questions that you guys ask to make it even more perfect for you in terms of going into 2020.
Yeah, and if you ask a question at the end of each of these videos, we're going to be actually answering it in the subsequent video, which will air the next day. So, we'll call you out. You'll be entered to win a Zonguru subscription, and we'll answer your question live.
All right, guys, diving into the 2020 Perfect Product Vision approach. What is the actual strategy? I think it's really important right now to cover the key strategy around how things have evolved and how you should actually be doing your research today versus how it's been done 2 or 3 years ago on Amazon. So let's dive in and actually cover those key points. All right, we want to cover a key concept, which is red ocean versus blue ocean. Now, especially on Amazon, there are red ocean product opportunities, which are very competitive. It's a race to the bottom in terms of margin, and there's just so much volume happening on page one that it's almost impossible to compete. So it's called red ocean. There's a bunch going on there. Versus blue ocean, which is where the great niche opportunities are. It's where you can launch and effectively get to page one for a number of key buyer demand terms. So we're going to focus on the blue ocean part of it, because this is how you should be launching a product in 2020. In the Amazon world, when we say demand, we're talking about what people are actually searching for. So there's high demand products like yoga mat. If you type in, there's so many searches happening for yoga mat, but it's really, really competitive. So we want to find things that are, have less search volume and less competition. So in terms of Amazon and it being customer set of over 300 million people, when you find these niche slivers, they can absolutely generate you thousands and thousands of dollars a month. So we're going to dive into exactly how that works with our tool right now. We're going to give you a key overview in terms of following that strategy and how to use that with Keywords on Fire, which is the first tool we're going to dive into.
So as John said, we're looking for medium demand, medium competition, the blue ocean. We're going to be diving into one of our tools, one of my favorite tools actually, Keywords on Fire, to see kind of the benchmarks on how we can determine medium demand, medium competition. And it's really cool. We have a bunch of fun products behind us. We're going to be deep diving into one, but let's just show the processes at a very high level on the strategy around determining the blue ocean. Okay, so where do you start? Well, if you're stuck, a great starting point is actually to just start with a phrase, something that you're interested in. You can even look around the room and find an interesting item and just use that as a phrase and then insert it into Keywords on Fire. I'm going to show you how to do that. And what you're going to receive is a list of ideas and data behind those ideas to filter and basically start very broad at the 1,000-foot view, and then use the filters to get down into the blue ocean and determining the medium demand, medium competition. I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Yeah, I want to jump in there and just highlight a really important point that you just said there, which is like start with a phrase or a category on Amazon or a hobby or something that is of interest to you, because what's better than just finding a product that sells on Amazon is actually selling a product on Amazon that you really like. So if there's categories that you love, hobbies that you like, start with those phrases, and then we'll show you how these ideas will start to come out. So it's just a really important point I want to highlight. Why not look for something that you really enjoy, you understand the avatar, you understand the person who's actually buying that product.
Okay, so let's just type in, we'll just type in skateboard gear. So what you can see here is a list of the top 25 best performing products for the very broad general term skateboard gear. We're going to select them all, and what this tool is going to do is, you can see that we've inserted all the ASINs, we've added the products by phrase. We're just going to name this, we can just name this, we'll just name this John's skate gear. And what the tool is doing now is it's going to scan all of those listings and pull the important keywords that those listings rank for. And it's basically just going to show us a huge list of keywords, which we can then take a deeper dive into looking at the data, looking and understanding the search volume, the demand, using the filters to determine the medium demand, and then on the flip side of that, also looking at reviews and the competitiveness of the category as well, and trying to determine which keywords inside of skateboard gear are medium competition as well.
Yeah, and there's an insane amount of technology happening right there when you put that phrase in. As Darren said, we're doing a reverse lookup across 25 different listings, the top 25 listings, to get the best keywords that convert for them. Plus, we're actually getting data directly from Amazon in terms of a keyword generator per se that we dedupe against that. So you're getting the best of both worlds, not only the best keywords from the competitors, but also the best keywords directly from Amazon. And that's going to be deduped and put into a really relevant list for you to start looking at. And relevancy is really important, and we're going to get into that a little bit more, but making sure that the words are actually relevant for what you're searching for within that phrase is important, because sometimes you get these keyword tools that just generate thousands and thousands of keywords, and none of them are even relevant. So there's a lot of really hard work that the technology is doing behind the scenes from obviously our developers and also our partnership with Amazon. We're a verified partner of Amazon, so we get access to data that simply no one else gets access to, which is obviously passed on to you.
Okay, great. So now the Keywords on Fire session for skate gear has fully run and is ready for us to take a look at. So let's dive in. We're going to cover just very, very high level what the data shows us before we dive into a product opportunity that we have found to be a really, really good product. But let's first just get a better understanding of what the Keywords on Fire data looks like and means. So we're inside of the tool, and you can see here up at the top we have a basic high-level overview of the information in the actual sheet itself. So you can see here that the total revenue generated by all 297 of these unique and relevant keywords is almost $2 million. So this is almost a $2 million category across all of those keywords for the top 25 competitors. So really cool stuff here. You can also see that almost 150,000 monthly searches for the keywords in this list as well. So not one of the biggest categories I've seen, but definitely significant and a cool one worth just taking a quick look at.
So we're going to dive in and show you the medium volume, medium competition in a second, but I want to cover just the high-level columns that we have here because there's some really important data here that you need to be aware of. The first is actually obviously the keywords, and these are those relevant keywords that Darren was talking about, but we have the Zonguru score. Now the Zonguru score accounts for a number of different factors. So it accounts for search volume, revenue, relevancy in terms of the actual keyword that you put into the phrase when you searched, and a number of other factors, and it gives a score out of 100. So always reference that as not only the highest volume and demand, but it factors in those other factors, competition, etc. So it's a really powerful number as you start to really use Zonguru's keywords on fire. One of the most awesome numbers here is the dollars from keywords. So this is pretty unique in the space, in this software space, and we've been able to figure out through our partnership with Amazon and through the APIs that we get access to, we can give you an actual amount of dollars that keyword generates on a monthly basis for the top 25 competitors for that search. So per keyword, you can actually look at the potential dollars from keywords that you could actually get access to if you launch a product on that term, which is really, really powerful. Search volume is, again, this is directly from Amazon, and it will tell you the number of searches that are being done per month for that product. So this is just helping you with the potential. So top 25 competitors, this is really important because it shows you for that keyword how competitive is it. For example, obviously skateboard gear, all of the top 25 competitors rank for that in the top 25 positions, number of units, and then reviews. This is a really powerful one, knowing on average for that keyword, how many reviews do the competitors have on average for that keyword. And this is what we use to really dive into that mid to low competition. So it's a really powerful metric that we need to look at in a lot of detail. And then we obviously have price, which is important, especially in private label. You want to be at a certain price point and a certain margin. Keywords and title, this just shows how the competitors are actually focusing on that keyword and do they actually have it in the title. So it's quite an interesting metric to look at. We have PPC bid, and then we have these top three, which is the actual top three listings and how many clicks and how many conversions and how many dollars on page one are they actually getting versus the rest of the competition. So it's an interesting way to see is the lion's share of the clicks and conversions going to the top three competitors, or is that spaced out? And that's a good way to assess competition as well. And then finally, we have those top 25 ASINs, and we show the actual rank out of the top 200 positions, where they actually rank for that keyword. So it's a really interesting way, once you start to see an opportunity, to look at how competitive that actual keyword is for that category. So that's a very, very advanced technique here that is pretty much unique in the space. No one else is actually looking at that level of a niche. And when you're looking for the niche within a niche, this is a really powerful metric that will help you to just really validate the product keyword that you're going after. So incredibly powerful data there. We have tutorial videos. You can watch this. You can get more into it. And this will become very familiar with you as you start to use this tool, but incredibly powerful.
Yeah, awesome. So John just covered a ton of material, really got into the nuts and bolts of this tool. For people that are in the very beginning and you just want to get your feet wet with the tool, the three columns that you're going to want to pay the most attention to are dollars generated by keywords, search volume, those are going to show you the demand of the product, and then reviews. And that's going to show you the competitiveness of the niche and the category as well. So we're going to use the filters just really quickly as an exercise to just kind of trim the fat of our keyword list here so that we can see the blue ocean immediately. So let's just take a look. Okay.
Yeah, so real quick, let's just sort by search volume, just so we can see what the highest search volume is for the top. So you can see here, skateboard wheels is 18,000. There's 13,000, 12,000, some really high search volume numbers here. And on the review side, let's just kind of click on the reviews. On the review side, you can see some of the reviews here on average are 2,000, 1,900, and then it slowly starts to drop off. So you can see that if we use certain filters, we can get rid of those red ocean, high search volume, high reviews, high competitive keywords, and really focus on some of those niches. So let's go ahead and jump in there, Darren.
So let's just, as an exercise, use the filters really quick to trim the fat. So we're gonna first measure demand, and I think that the best way to do that for this category, because it's not the biggest, is to look at search volume, which is greater than or equal to 2,500 monthly searches. So you're gonna see in a second, this unique keyword list of 297 relevant keywords is going to drop to now just 14 keywords. So we've gotten rid of all of the ones that are just very underperforming from a demand perspective. Now, on the flip side of that, we want to see medium competition as well. So we're going to say reviews less than or equal to, in this case, let's just use 400 and see what comes up. Okay, cool. So now we have 12 unique keywords. This is essentially, we would need to dive into this, I think, a little bit deeper, but this is, as an exercise, how you could really quickly generate ideas by starting broad with a very broad general term, skateboard gear, and now you have 12 ideas right at your disposal. It looks like, funny enough, there's a lot of safety gear. Cool, so as you can see here, we now have 12 unique keywords that we would then probably want to take a look at deeper. We'd go over to a tool that we're going to cover in a little bit to validate the data around the numbers. But you can see that we've now started with a broad general idea, and we've got some more unique, very specific blue ocean keyword terms to look at a little bit deeper. And this happened in just about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, with a keyword that we didn't even know was going to be good or not. So very cool stuff there.
Yeah. So and this process that we just went through, as Darren said, takes a couple of minutes, and through that we found some really cool products that you could launch in 2020. We have a bunch over here.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, let's take a look at a few of these products. They're all pretty fun ones. And if you follow us on Instagram, which you absolutely should, or YouTube, we've actually featured some of these products and taken deep dives into them. Obviously, with this video series, we only have time to look at one really good one, but these are all great. So let's take a quick look. One of the first products, I think that this is the most visually differentiated product that we have. Well, maybe not. We'll see. But this is the nesting bowl. So this is for kitchens, smaller kitchens, people that want to conserve space. It comes with a bunch of cup measures, some other cool tools, and it looks like the cross-section of like a planet or something. Really cool, visually differentiated product. This product alone generates over $30,000 a month on Amazon. A really solid niche score using the Chrome extension. That's a really fun one.
Yeah, and also on that one, which is really interesting, what we found with Keywords on Fire is you can actually target different categories, for example, kitchen appliances or camping appliances. So there's a lot of different opportunities within that, which is kind of cool. What else we got, Darren?
If you follow our unboxing videos, this is one of the first unboxing videos that we did. This is a Life Straw filtered water bottle. Very, very cool product. You can literally just fill up water from streams, really any water source, and it'll filter it for you and make it drinkable. This guy does over $120,000 a month, and a category that is surprisingly not as competitive as you would expect. So this is a really cool one.
Yeah, that one's also really interesting because it's a perfect example of red ocean versus blue ocean, because if you just type in water bottle, it's so red ocean because so many competitors, so much search volume. But when you get into those niche categories like live straw water bottle, there's still so much volume, but it's a niche that doesn't have as much competition. So that was a really cool one that we found through this process.
All right, so this one,
this is not my skateboard, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably my worst nightmare. This is an alarm clock that obviously has wheels attached to it, and when the alarm goes off, it shoots across your room, and you have to actually get out of bed to turn this thing off. This is for the heavy sleepers. Also a really cool, very, very simple differentiation. Like all they added was some wheels to an alarm clock, and all of a sudden they've created a niche within a niche. This, I believe, does like 22 to 25,000 a month. Solid seller. You can tell, I mean, you might not be able to tell in the video, but pretty cheap plastic. Not a lot of moving parts to this. Some people might steer clear of electronics. This probably does not cost the seller very much to produce.
Yeah, and just that concept of honing in on that avatar of that person who's a heavy sleeper, and how can you help them to get up when their alarm goes off. Obviously that's a novel way, but there's probably a bunch of other ways. So it's just an interesting niche within a niche that you can look at in terms of these clocks that really get you out of bed when they actually go off. It's not lunchtime, Darren.
Yeah. So this was a really funny product. I actually really like this, and we do weekly training videos, and we focused on this product a little bit. This is a great example of packaging differentiation. So this is a blanket that looks almost exactly like a tortilla. So you wrap yourself up in, and you become a burrito. So it's the burrito blanket. They obviously use some really, really cool packaging to make this look like a burrito. And I wish it was lunchtime because this thing's awesome.
Yeah, and that's, again, it's like when you look at that listing, they have a pizza blanket. It's just this novel idea around blankets that your kids would love to use. Really interesting product idea that obviously they understood in Avatar. It's the Snuggie wearer, it's the kids, and they actually do really great with that product.
Yeah,
so
this one blanket alone does over $10,000 a month gross on Amazon. So cool product. We have a couple other good ones. There's one in particular that we're going to be deep diving into really for the rest of the series. This is going to kind of guide the rest of our presentation. We're going to bring our guest in a second to get his expert tips on this product. So I'm really excited to show it off. And yeah, I think let's dive in.
All right, guys, so let's actually dive into this product that we're going to assess using Keywords on Fire and a few other tools. It's kind of an interesting one. I want you, Darren, to take them through your thought process and how we actually found this. So let's go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I did is I actually put what we just taught to practice, and I started with an interest of mine, and that's camping. Specifically, I wanted to get a little bit more specific than just camping. So I actually just said car camping.
Much safer than skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the general broad phrase that we started to begin to weed down using the filters, using the exact processes that we just showed. And we got some really, really interesting products. And the one that stuck out to me as the best and the one with the most promise based on all of the data that we're going to show you was actually car mattresses. So it's an interesting product. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a blow-up mattress. Most of them are universal, one size fits all for sedans, SUVs. There's all sorts of cool opportunities to differentiate, in form and function, and then they all have, some cool, interesting bundling opportunities. But that's the product that we're going to be looking at, especially one in particular that does a really good job and is kind of above the rest from a branding perspective. So for the rest of the video, at least this one, we're going to be looking at this really cool inflatable car mattress.
Yeah, when you showed me this idea, I actually never have seen anything like that. Even though it's a simple thing like a car mattress, you'll see the way that it's evolved and the way they've created this product is kind of unique. So I'm excited to jump into there. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to bring on one of our friends here in Los Angeles who's an expert Amazon seller. He's been selling on Amazon for, I think, over 4 years right now. We're going to bring him in and introduce him, but we're actually going to get him to validate this idea using Keywords on Fire. He's absolutely a brand ambassador for Keywords on Fire, and he's an expert seller. He's going to go and show his process and then hopefully validate the idea for us. So we're going to bring him on just in a second.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to step away. Chris is going to take my place and take you through the product. He's a super, super smart guy and knows his space, so let's do it.
Wow, guys, I hope you're really enjoying the content right now. We just want to take a minute to remind you that this is a challenge. So follow along, use ZonGuru, and find that perfect 2020 product for yourself that you can absolutely launch and crush it on Amazon in 2020. So guys, it's all about taking action right now. So sign up, take action, and follow along with us and take on this challenge.
Yeah, and when you sign up on this landing page, you just want to click the register button around this video. You're going to get access to one of our strongest offers thus far. You're going to get ZonGuru for the first month for just $1. It's going to give you all the access to the tools that we're showing off in this video and the others in video 2, 3, and 4. Plus, you're going to get access to this ebook, which has the hottest products on Amazon in 2020 right now, brought to you by our product research team. You're also going to get access to exclusive group live training. Plus, if you're enjoying this content and want to share on social media, every share enters you for an automatic entry to win ZonGuru for another 3 months at $1 each month, plus free consultations with John and myself.
Guys, this is an insane offer. If you actually sign up right now and follow along, you're going to take on that challenge and crush it in 2020. So let's get back to the content with Chris M right now. All right, guys, so welcome Chris M. He's one of our good friends. He's based here in Los Angeles. Maybe just tell a little bit of your story, like, how did you get into Amazon? How long have you been selling on Amazon? And a little bit of the evolution of your business selling products on Amazon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me here. So I started selling on Amazon back in 2016. Learned about the opportunity from a friend that was actually doing arbitrage and absolutely killing it. And so I met with him, talked to him, found out about the opportunity. I started off doing retail arbitrage, found out I was no good at it, did not like it, but I knew eventually that I wanted to be in private label. So I jumped right in. Luckily had success with my first product. Definitely had ups and downs, but ever since then, just kind of been off to the races.
We spend a lot of time with Chris because he's here in Los Angeles, and he's the epitome of the Amazon seller. A really great entrepreneur, very smart, and just knows how to hustle, which is really cool to see. But in terms of that evolution of your business, if you are willing to share, what kind of numbers are you hitting now in terms of your Amazon business?
So I do about 6 figures a month, and definitely a 7-figure seller now. But it's been definitely a long journey up to this point. A lot of ups and downs, like I said. But now that I have this formula down, once you do it once, it's just kind of a rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just insane. It's just awesome, to see your growth. And obviously, we've known each other for a while, and just knowing that you are absolutely hitting 6 figures a month and still hustling and looking to grow. And I think maybe, touch on your theory around looking for products in Amazon today. And when you got access to Keywords on Fire, how did that align with your strategy in terms of how you approach it?
Right. So when I do product research, I follow a pretty standard checklist, and it's pretty simple. I look at 6 major points. As you know, product research is really the foundation of starting an Amazon business. So if you choose the right product from the start, it makes the whole journey a lot easier. Like you and Darren were saying, if you start off with a highly competitive product in a highly competitive product niche, it just makes that whole process a lot more difficult.
All right, so let's jump into this phrase that we put together, car camping, and let's start to identify opportunities in there. So Chris, why don't you walk us through the way that you would kind of go through this process?
Yeah, definitely. So Keywords on Fire was originally made for listing optimization and finding those long tail keywords that are profitable. The data that Keywords on Fire provides, you're not going to find it on any other software out there right now. So let's dive into it right now. So right now we did the search for car camping, right? And it automatically sorts by the Zonguru score. What I like to do when I do a fresh search is actually sort by the search volume. So the first thing we look for is the demand, right? With Amazon, it's so data-driven that you're really looking for opportunities that people are already searching for, products that people are already searching for on a monthly basis, and you want to take advantage of that. So the first thing I do is filter by the search volume, and I want to see exactly the type of demand there is for this keyword, right? And so as soon as I do it, camping accessories by far is the leader with 275,000 monthly searches. So that means 275 people are searching for this keyword 275,000 times on a monthly basis, which is insane. So for me, I like my search volume to be at least 5,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Some people can be low as 2,000, some people want at least 10,000. So for me, I like to have at least 5,000 monthly searches. So what I do is input that value right here just to filter out all the ones that don't meet my criteria, right? Mm-hmm. Next thing I want to do after I have this is actually look at the reviews, right? And the great thing about all these data points and these columns, it actually gives you a little bit of information about the product opportunity itself. So for example, search volume equates to demand. Reviews will equate to the level of competition, how competitive a product niche is. So I like to sort by the reviews. And for me, my criteria, I want the average number of reviews on page 1 to be about 300 or less. For other sellers, they might have different criteria, like I said, based on their selling experience.
Yeah, and it's just for you guys listening, reviews. If on average people have over 3,000 reviews, that those sellers have been there for a good number of years. They're very seasoned. The algorithm loves them. So to compete against them is virtually impossible. So that's why reviews is such an important metric. And if you've got 300 reviews, maybe there's 100 reviews so you can get onto page 1. That's something you can probably, within a good few months, you can really start to compete against. So that's ultimately why reviews is such an important number for competition. So let's go ahead and filter out by how many reviews you want to filter out by.
Yeah, so for reviews, that's something where you can play around with the filters just to kind of see what the competition level is. For me, I'll say about 300. And you can see already that it kind of shrivels the list down to these products here.
I might go in there and actually just put in, search volume over 1,000 and then reviews, greater than or less than or equal to 500. So it's going to be a longer list and there might be some more opportunity. This is getting really specific because you do numbers of these searches on a daily basis. So this is a much more focused search, and tell us a little bit about what you see.
Yeah, so right now I see that like we said, we put in all these filters already, so we know there's high demand for these products already. Now we want to look at the competition. Anything under 300 I'm comfortable with. And you also have to keep in mind, like, you imagine coming out with a brand new product, and if a customer is looking at your product with very small or limited reviews compared to somebody with thousands or hundreds, they're more likely to go with the product with more reviews because of that social proof, right? So, but based on these results, all these products look pretty solid. Now that we've shortened this list down to these, what I like to do is filter by the keyword revenue number. And this is something that, like I said, I haven't seen anywhere else. This basically shows you the keyword revenue for the top 25 listings on any given keyword, right? So what that tells me is how profitable a keyword is, and that information is highly, highly valuable, especially when you're targeting long-tail keywords or anything like that, right?
Okay, Chris, so you've put in those filters, so just read the page and tell us what you see.
Yeah, so right off the bat, rooftop tent jumps out the page. The top 25 listings combined do over $2.3 million a month, 14,000 monthly searches, so it's really awesome with low reviews. But if you look at here the price column, over $1,000 price point, average price point, that's a little high, right? Especially if you're just looking to launch your first product. A high listing price really kind of correlates to a high cost of goods, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that you might not be comfortable with. But as we kind of scan down the list here, one thing that really jumps out are these air mattresses for your car, right? There's 4 different keywords that have high keyword revenue numbers, very, very healthy monthly searches, and relatively low demand. So I think anything related with car mattresses or anything like that would be a pretty good opportunity based on these results.
Awesome. Yeah, and just to kind of back that up again, we've done a filter specific to your criteria, which is obviously that 5,000 demand, under 300 reviews, and bam, it's pulled out a couple of opportunities right here. I would love to have the capital to do the rooftop tent, because that just looks like an insane category. But the next step for us is obviously to open up car air mattress and get into the details on that. One last point, maybe just talk a little bit about like how you look at the top 3 clicks and conversions, because I know that's a number you look at when when you're assessing a product. So maybe just talk a little bit about that nugget before we jump back in.
So like I said, every column gives you a little bit more information about the product, about the opportunity, right? So when I look at the top 3 keyword numbers, the clicks, and the conversion rates, that kind of shows me how deep this product is for that keyword, right? So for example, if the top 3 keyword revenue numbers relative to the overall numbers are very skewed and very top heavy, so it just might mean that the top 3 are really just dominating that keyword space, right? That's something
which
that
might make it much harder to get into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for example, if you're competing against Kleenex and you're trying to sell tissue paper, that's something that most likely you're going to lose, right?
Absolutely.
So that's how I look at this number right here. So especially when you're looking at the top 3 clicks and the top 3 conversion, it kind of shows you how deep that product category would be.
So just for example, on that, on rooftop tent, the top 3 clicks is 34% and conversions is 61%. So the conversions are quite high, but it means that only 34% of the top get the click share for the top 3. So there's potential to actually get in on that product, right?
Right. And what that shows me is like, if you have a listing, they'll click on it, but the top 3 are getting actually 61% of all the sales for that keyword. So that shows me it is a little top heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas, say for example, car mattresses, there's a little bit more wiggle room because the top 3 clicks are 39. It's a little bit higher, but the conversion rate is much lower at 50%. So that means the other, outside the top 3, you have 50% of sales that are converting between those listings.
So a little bit more spread, you have a better chance of getting in there. So this is good. So this is good that we're seeing these numbers. And again, thanks Chris for jumping in here, and just excited to move forward and look into this product in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I'm excited how it turns out.
Okay, so we found this great, interesting opportunity. Let's go in and validate it a little bit more using some of the other tools. So we're going to dive into our Chrome extension, Niche Radar, and Sales Spy. So Darren, why don't you jump into Niche Radar, and let's actually show. So we've looked at that actual keyword, but we want to see how does that niche validate amongst all the other competitors. So how does it actually look on Amazon's page, and what does the data show us? So let's jump in and actually look at it.
Yeah, let's do it. You can see we've already typed in the keyword car mattress, and we can see that the we have all sorts of different types of listings. We have these interesting ones for compact cars, some with some interesting functional differentiation, visual differentiation. So we have all the products on page one pulled up, and what we're going to do now is we're going to pull up the Chrome extension, and as you said, Chrome extension is going to validate the data. So it's going to show us how do these sellers on page one sell compared to each other. Is there room based on the blue ocean analogy for demand against competition? So I pulled up the Chrome extension. With the Zonguru account, you'll have that resting and waiting for you on any marketplace, and you can pull it up and it's going to scan the listings and validate the data. So if this is the first time you're seeing it, there's some really cool features. We're just going to cover them one after another, and then we'll take a look and see if the data is validated. The first thing you probably notice is a really cool feature here is the niche score. And the niche score takes into account basically the four main criteria that determine if you have a good product opportunity, if you're in the blue ocean. So the niche score is the average between all four of these components, and those components are buyer demand. Are people searching for this product and are they buying it? Competition opportunity. So how not only how much competition is there, but also how well optimized is that competition? How strong are they as sellers? But then also, how long have they been around? Then we also have investment sweet spot, which takes a look at the approximate cost and investment side of things for launch. And then finally, we have the revenue potential, which is based on a number of factors, but is mainly, how many dollars are you going to be putting in your pocket for every sale? So it takes a look at the demand, but also the actual average price of the product. So those four main things, which you can see here, I'll just go through each one individually pertaining to this product, is a really solid 64% for buyer demand. That means people are buying the product, they're interested in it. We have a 57% competition opportunity, which is actually a pretty good score. Competition opportunity typically will bring the niche score down because, as we've already talked about, Amazon is getting more and more competitive. But a 57% competition opportunity means that these sellers are not that strong. They have low number of reviews, they're not very well optimized, and we're going to see that as we unbox the listings themselves. There's a lot of room to outperform these sellers. And then investment sweet spot, this is a little bit of a higher number here. You have to think about the fees that you could realistically and the funds that you could realistically put behind your business, especially if it's your first product. You don't have a lot of disposable income. We typically see people launching around the 12 to 15,000 US dollar mark. This one's sitting at a little bit higher investment sweet spot, which we'll look at in greater depth in a second. And then finally, the revenue potential. This is a higher priced item, which means that you are putting more money in your pocket for every sale. But on the flip side of that, it also means that you're probably going to be investing a little bit more money because your cost of goods, the price for your orders are going to be a little bit higher because the product is a higher price.
Yeah, this is actually a really exciting product for me personally, just looking at those numbers, because competition opportunity is usually much higher. We usually see that over the 60% with a lot of EBC, a lot of well-optimized listings, and this is a situation where they actually are pretty much on the lower end, which is great. And then I actually like this investment sweet spot and the price point, even though it's $60. I bet just looking at these products that the cost of goods is actually going to be a lot lower than you might think. Yeah. So there's a lot of margin there to make some great profit. So this is really, really interesting to me. And just looking at that page, and we'll get into this in more detail, but functionally, I think there's some real cool opportunities to differentiate, which is one of the best ways to actually do it. So this is really looking good. One other, a couple of nuggets I want to pick out on the Chrome extension. The first point is that you can actually search for products this way as well. Just jump in and be on Amazon and go through the rabbit hole and bring the Chrome extension up. It's a great way to do the research from the start, but obviously it's also really good to validate after you've done a keywords on fire search. But these little numbers 1, 2, and 3, you'll see them on the page down the left-hand side. These are really interesting because those are the top 3 sellers for that keyword. So remember, going back to that, conversion, click percentage, and revenue percentage. Those are the top 3 competitors, which gives us a good indication who are the best listings on the page, who are customers clicking on the most. That's a really important number to look at as well.
Yeah, awesome. So a couple other things that I just want to cover. That's a great feature as well. But if this again is the first time you're seeing this, you'll want to understand that these top numbers are the averages across page 1. So on average, the seller on page 1 makes 576 monthly sales. That's pretty exciting. That's a lot of sales. And the average seller on page one makes almost $35,000 a month selling these car air mattresses. We also have the search volume, so this is the most recent monthly search volume metrics right at our disposal, direct from Amazon. That's not an estimation, it's a real number. And then we have the average price at around 61, average number of reviews, average review score. And then I just want to kind of cover what the launch budget means. It basically is the estimated price to launch this product and stay in stock for at least 3 months on Amazon based on the average price of the other competitors, and taking 30% of that, because 30% is typically what you're investing in your cost of goods sold. And then, of course, you want to stay in stock for at least 3 months because you need to understand that if you're reordering, especially from overseas, it takes time to fulfill those orders and get them shipped over from China. So really important number to have, but again, these are all guidelines as well. So they're very important towards helping you make the decision, but they shouldn't be the deciding factor themselves.
Cool. So why don't we just jump in and maybe just roll over those top 3 competitors on the page, and let's just see what they're actually selling from this actual buyer keyword.
Yeah, absolutely. So the top seller, it looks like they do just under $30,000 a month. And they actually don't have that many reviews, sitting at 227 reviews as the top seller on page one. That should actually be very optimistic. And then now what you can do is you can actually hover over these listings. You can see the main buyer photo. And so you can see that the top seller, it looks like they're focusing on air mattresses for like compact cars, that back seat. The second best seller also does that, and then the third seller also does this, and they do a pretty cool job of photographing the products so that you can see that there are 2 actual air compartments, so that when you set the mattress down on your back seat, it doesn't flop over. It has support to remain flat.
Yeah, this is really interesting to me because I didn't actually think there was such a type of product that just fits onto the back seat with the seats up, right?
Yeah.
When I imagined this, I thought, oh, the seats would be down. So this is kind of interesting, and I'd love to understand a little bit more of this avatar where you'd actually want this to be on your back seat with your seats up, not down, and obviously solving for that thing, and that's the top 3 sellers. So this is something we should definitely focus on, which is great.
Yeah, and just 2 other points I want to make too is this is really exciting because the top 3 sellers in this category are all FBA sellers. So they're sellers just like you and me. They're not sold by Amazon, but also this score right here, this is the listing score. This is an indicator again of how strong and how well optimized the listings are. These are pretty low scores, and they even have EBC. So what this means is they're probably not taking full advantage of all their photos. Their listing copy isn't well optimized. There's a lot of shortcomings, and they have low reviews. So there's a lot of shortcomings here, which again is just very exciting because it just means, wow, this is blue ocean. And again, we know that because we're looking at the data.
Cool. Yeah, great. So I think we've validated that this is a great niche within that search category. And the final thing that we want to do, and we just want to touch on this, is we want to make sure that we look at the historical sales of some of the top competitors, because we want to see, is this seasonal? Just kind of validate it from that perspective before we really jump in and say, hey, this is what we want to put our money behind. So why don't we jump into Sales Spy? Darren, why don't you explain what that is and take us through it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're inside of Sales Spy, and as John said, this is a great tool because it allows you to see the historical sales data. The Chrome extension is giving you snapshots based on the data at the time you're running the search. Sales Spy takes those snapshots day over day so that you can actually understand how that product has sold since it made its first sale on Amazon. So not only is this good for understanding the seasonality of the product, but it's also a good way to understand how consistent the seller is able to stay in stock. Because I'm going to open up the sales graph for one of these products, and if you see these big swings where sales drop and their BSR, or the bestseller rank, spikes, it's usually a good indicator of something that the seller did wrong, that Amazon is either punishing or rewarding them for. So let's take a look, and we can better understand the seasonality of the product as well as their consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the last 1 year of sales. And let's just open up one of these at random. We've added kind of the top sellers. And okay, this is a good example. So it looks like the seller, since about this time last year, had some pretty slow sales for their first 3 or 4 months of selling. You can see this blue line is the indicator of the BSR. The orange line is representative of the revenue, and then down here at the bottom, it's might be a little bit hard to see because the sales were low. This is the actual number of sales made. And what you can see is Amazon was testing them out, and the BSR was fluctuating. And they began to maybe run solid PPC. Their inventory index, remained consistent for X period of time. And you can see that come about May, their sales began to rise, but also tapered. So what this tells us is, the seller did a pretty good job, but this is particularly a seasonal product, as you would expect here in the States. This is in the .com marketplace. For the summer months, and you expect people to buy products like car mattresses in the summer months because that's when people are camping.
Yeah, I would bet that this guy actually just launched. Back in it looks like actually the numbers there. He launched back in March of 2018. So I bet that he was slow a little bit, and he was just working on getting those reviews, getting a little bit of space, a little bit of traction with the algorithm, and then really took off later on in the year. So you can see just with a little bit of work, it's now become an amazing seller with some solid numbers, which is great. So who else can we look at?
Yeah, cool. So let's look at one more, see if there's anything that we can gather from the graph, because that's at the end of the day what we're trying to do. We're trying to make an educated inference based on the data that's presented to us. So this seller is great. I mean, they're consistent pretty much year round. They had a really solid February, it looks like. Something may have happened here where the BSR spiked, sales dropped. I mean, this is a big BSR swing too. It looks like it went
might have gotten a little bit out of stock, or that's actually when some of those other competitors might have come in as well. So it's interesting, yeah.
So again, very cool information, and I just want to, because we're covering so much material here, just slow it down for a second. What we've done so far is a lot. We've identified a niche within a niche using the Keywords on Fire tool, starting broad and getting very specific, identifying good ideas, and then we use the Chrome extension. We validated that idea using the data that's presented to us to better understand how all of the competitors sell in a space, and then we added the interesting products within that space to SalesSpy to better understand the seasonality, which is a really, really powerful tool when you're doing your inventory planning, especially for launch. So these 3 tools together are so powerful. I can't imagine launching a product on Amazon, without tools like these. It's just you'd just be guessing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the responsibilities that we take on as ZonGuru is, we want to make sure that we can give you the most accurate data and the right data at the right moment in the most relevant way, so you can make the right decision for your business. And I think if you go through this process of using these 3 tools, you can really move forward with confidence and say, okay, I find a great opportunity. I've assessed that opportunity across not only the marketplace, but historical sales, and I know where I stand with this, and I can take the next steps forward in a confident way. So a lot here, but we literally do this on a day-to-day basis, and we can validate these things in like under 5 minutes. We can go in and actually do this. So that's for you to dive in and start using, which we'd love you to do. Cool, and don't just take our word for it. We've got a few of our top sellers right here sharing their top tips in terms of product research. We're going to cut to them and then wrap this up and move on to the next episode.
Hey everyone, my name's Karen. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I have been using ZonGuru for just over 12 months now. I'm a live seller on Amazon, and I found the ZonGuru tools extremely helpful getting started. I've been doing probably 12 months of research into which category and which niche I wanted to launch new products in, and without ZonGuru, it wouldn't have been possible. The data that you can obtain about the niche and whether or not on the Chrome extension it's even worth going into, it's extremely helpful. Listing Optimizer is another one, another tool within ZonGuru that's fantastic. I put my listings, the detail into Listing Optimizer, and I just try and work it to improve my score. There's a scoring system within Listing Optimizer where you try and aim for above 30,000, and a couple of my listings started well below 20,000, and they're now up closer to 40,000 due to this tool and me being able to add some keywords into my listing, which has really helped, and to also look at the competitor listings, take their keywords and ensure that they're also contained in my product listing. I wouldn't be where I am today, even though I'm just starting off. Zonguru has made it so easy for me to actually look up data and to make sure I'm on the right track. The Zonguru team is fantastic. You contact them and get a response pretty much immediately and from a real person, and they'll email you videos, answer your questions, jump into your account if needed and help you out. So I absolutely recommend using Zonguru, because without that tool, you just wouldn't be able to do anywhere near the sales that I think you can do on Amazon without using their tools. The whole team's fantastic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicholas Steiner. I'm coming to you today from the Gold Coast of Australia. At this point in time, we've been on Amazon for a little over a year now and have seen significant growth, especially over the last 3 to 6 months within our listings. And we do have Zonguru to thank a lot for that. One of the biggest hurdles that we had when coming to Zonguru initially is finding out exactly what our competitors were doing. What keywords had they been using, how high they had been ranking, what their sales numbers had been. All these things were questions until we were able to get the Zonguru software. The software was able to help us find out all that information and even more. And by even more, I think the thing that helped us out the most, actually I know the thing that helped us out the most, would definitely be the Keywords on Fire tool. That tool allowed us to get more information than we ever thought possible to implement within our listings, to be competitive within your own niche. And we were able to do that on levels that we never actually thought possible. So much that last Christmas, we were doing around $5,000 for the month. And I'm proud to say that last month alone, we now have done over $100,000 in 1 month in sales. Absolutely ridiculous, not something we ever thought possible. But with that being done now, we think that the sky really is the limit moving forward. And we can't wait to continue to work with Zonguru and see what they come out with next. So if you're out there on the fence thinking about, is this for me? Is this something I can use? Yes, 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 yes. If you are an Amazon seller, if you are looking to get optimized, Zonguru is the software for you.
Yeah, we're really excited to see where this video series goes in the next couple of episodes. I know that what we're planning for the next episode is going to be huge. It's really cool. We have a very special guest that we're excited to bring in. And guys, we have some really exciting giveaways as well. So don't forget to engage, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. If you comment, if you share, if you tag, you automatically get entered to win a free Zonguru subscription. We have a bunch of other cool and exciting prizes that we're going to be talking about. And for new signups, stay until the end, watch all of the video series, because we have a very special offer that we're going to be talking a little bit more about on day 4. Tomorrow, we've got some really, really cool stuff planned, a really special guest. We're going to be taking a look at how we can make this product opportunity really, really special through differentiation.
Yeah, differentiation is key for tomorrow. And guys, we're here to answer your questions. So put in your questions, tag friends. We've got some prizes to give away, and we're going to be answering these questions before the next episode. And just looking forward to jumping into that with you guys.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you really enjoyed video 1. So you should really know now how to find a perfect product using the latest data-driven strategies with Keywords on Fire and a bunch more. But don't forget, this is a challenge. And wait till you see what is in video 2, 3, and 4. And to get access to that, you need to sign up right now. This is an exclusive offer. You have to sign up right now, and it will unlock the videos so you can follow along and absolutely crush it in 2020 and launch the perfect product.
Yeah, if you want access to video 2, 3, and 4, you're only going to be able to get access to that by signing up for the offer. Just click the register button, and those videos will be waiting for you inside of your account. And we have an exclusive offer, one of our strongest yet. You're going to get Zonguru for the first month for just $1. Plus, you're going to get access to all of those videos included. And we have a ton of other bonus material. We have this 2020 Hot Product ebook, which shows you the hottest products on Amazon right now to give you a little bit of a head start, plus a ton of other additional reading materials. We also have exclusive group live training sessions. And if you share this content and you're loving it, you really want to share it, then you're going to get automatic entries to win 3 months of Zonguru for just $1 as well, plus entries for private consultations with John and myself. I don't know if we could give away much more, but this is so strong.
Yeah, guys, we're just trying to give you as much value as possible so you can absolutely crush it in 2020. And if you're still hesitating, look at some of these comments from people who have watched this series. The value is absolutely there, and for just $1, you get access to Zonguru for 1 whole month, so you can use every single tool to get into next year. Remember, it's a limited time offer, guys. It's exclusive. You need to click on it right now. You get access. Only if you click on it right now, you'll get all the other videos. So check it out right now. Click on the link.
Bye for now.